the first to know Nsem-Pii TV.
Mamo akwaba bimba Nsem-Pii TV so. Dennis Miracles Aboagye aka prempi na ka koshia NDC communicator on live radio na live TV no be express any view about any government ba bemu de waya naka NDC communicator the man is Nsem-Pii the NDC communication officer. But this time Felix Ofosu Kwakye NDC parliamentary candidate Abra Asebu kwa mankesi na kosi sendwuma die so ana Dennis Miracles Aboagye ama Felix Ofosu Kwakye NDC ni aluku in fact Stʋpid. Dennis Miracles Aboagye akire Felix Ofosu Kwakye say propaganda omoye efa Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia no omo ana abu abo Nsem-Pii na Dennis Miracles Aboagye tudwa. In fact, I will drop some evidence efa former president John Dramani Mahama abana NDC amanyoko no abem katashene project corruption bia na ekoko NDC amanyoko no nene omo say His Excellence na Dankwa Akufo-Addo ne NPP aban na katashe any project no yenko tie ensem a Dennis Miracles Aboagye tudwa. Na before that no me pese yetie Felix Ofosu Kwakye ne nsem kakra bi okafa Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ho we are the Dennis Miracles Aboagye de no ato aso
that is how the average electorate makes the decision, and he knows very well. In fact, on one kasa ne surrogate Kofi Bentil on one say Bawumia is not the favorite for the 2024 elections. The reason is that aban wo na mo no modern on one surrogate Bentil no kan nyam na mekan. After saying say Osmote Bawumia no, he added it. Why is Bawumia not the favorite? Obi, all the credible polls are in Ghana, outside Ghana, even on scientific online polls. Nipa show my drink shows you say John Mahama is leading the polls. Why do you think it is so? Why do you think it is so? Absolutely, it is as simple as that. Sana assembly. We are candidates. Now we are BEMU. In fact, even if you are not in government, now we are ruling party candidate. The decision will be made on you based on Aboagye Teswa we are member. It's as simple as that. And one thing about Bawumia, it can be 2 months ago, and Omoma Kofi Bentil fly the first kites about whether or not he can be associated or blamed for the woes of Sir Aboagye. Oba na manfo twabo ne pa, and abeye na watching or Sandy Baboom. In fact, the first one, I'm trying to crowd because as I can online and pass it didn't make any sense. Look, the narrative Nipa it is a Bentil air driving on. And you're dangerous.
Why is it dangerous?
What it means is that Amanyopo bi eni wo ba bemu a obefia bemu.
You better abetiano.
No matter how bad they are. And MPP they have been particularly bad. They have been spectacularly bad. The very worst government that we're gonna have. That is the reason why they are trailing in the polls. It's all that the party needs to do. They say, Omepe nipa fufraba. No abeka say, I was not part of the decision making. That is the logic of Bentil's argument. It is a dangerous narrative. It means that you can be able to impunity. Send the MPP ne Oma Bayeno. What to me say Oma Nisi Kasem. Project can dream like a to me koso. You can destroy independent state institutions. Harass Nipa Ekasetia Waban. Do whatever you like. Yet you pay. Now we are wape candidates. I'm gonna be catch yes. Electorate ne say na on can decision makers. In fact, truly speaking, Nipa mi onipa na me hu mo MPP na go metumi akasa. Kene Japan. Kwabene Japan. Yes. They were the only two who could genuinely say they were not, because at least Kene Japan in himself, long before Obi declared the intention to contest, he was publicly expressing a disagreement
with some government decisions.
Absolutely. The same with Kwabene Japan. In fact, Kwabene Japan, they was starting a poll when Akufo-Addo was then flag bearer.
Yes.
Good. So they can legitimately say yes, we are a member of MPP, but I disagree, and this is a record.
But with what the Vice President said and how presenting a narrative, say number one, fiscal policy, finance minister, monetary policy, Bank of Ghana and then a governor. He was specifically put in charge of leading government digitalization agenda. And a man a record in that sector and what he's done.
First of all, that record is bogus. I would systematically demolish his claim. In fact, I have a 20-minute video on my Facebook wall. If you are interested, I should listen to it. In addition to that, there's an article, Dr. Manibuama.
I've read your Manibuama article.
Yes. Who to me read this article? No, in fact, as I'm about American seriously. There are specific untruths I can. But let me come back to Asama Walker said.
Yes.
Obi, him fana Akufo-Addo Walker said or the digitalization I share by Omiansa. It kind of say you agree. I also agree. Say about Benwa, the president has ultimate responsibility.
Sure.
On na ban ye
Sure.
Jobemo obi aye bia no a delegated function and responsibility.
Sure.
Because of that sunti only by adwin say ono no kasa it represents the policy of the government. Okasa it supersedes anybody's voice. It's the Akufo-Addo beka no emu odu se dey send the Bawumia beka send the miracles beka or anybody else in the MPP. Into a then Akufo-Addo aka about who is managing the economy. If 2008, 2012, 2016, it is a matter of fact. Say Nana Akufo-Addo aka kire yen say senti okofa Bawumia ba ene say opese ono no behwe sikasem ma no. There are at least 4 videos. Eya dansidie Trudeau was
for almost about Obi, I think about 3 years continuous. Professor Mills recorded
single 2 years.
Yeah, about 2 years, right?
Yes.
Obi, ever since Professor Mills, may God keep his soul. Unfortunately, former President John Dramani Mahama, Edadayen, I do my wish and for each of the years, the economy go worse. Each of the years. Sure?
But he makes the point that our 2 year stability, you know. Now JM the head of the economic management.
JM, which year has JM ever been the head of economic management team?
President Mills, vice president.
President Mills economic management when the members of the economic management team. When President Mills was in power, did you ever hear say President Mills economic management team where they head and where they members? In fact, you interviewed a friend and saying Dr. Dufo. Didn't he tell you that John Mahama wasn't the head of any economic management team? He told you here in this seat. The video is still online. So what are you talking about? And that will be a Felix Bekemi.
Question.
You interviewed the finance minister under Professor Mills.
Yes.
The man who steered affairs under Professor Mills, who told you say John Mahama was never head of any management team. He was never a member of any economic management team in the first place. And you are here saying Felix. But he's lying. Before you interviewed him here, the video, I even shared it. Wasn't before the finance minister under John Mahama. Didn't you interview before during his flag bearership way? Didn't he tell you said John Mahama was never
Nsem-Pii FM
and never any head of any economic management? In fact, Professor Mills and Bresso, what's the economic management team? What's here? Did you hear it? Don't let me digress. And then you're on some count. You see, this time, you know, we are not like our ancestors. So, people for the new generation, Gen Z, you know, we are not like our ancestors who would clear the path for you. Obi, it is a fact. A matter of fact to say, John Mahama was vice president who was never anywhere close to the management of the economy. Then, eventually in 2012, unfortunately, we lost the president. And then the vice president came to tell us, oh, you know, maybe vice president, Mr. Shemo, Madaroma, Moment was Monsieur, maybe, I just say, Felix, and some say, and some say, in a Tobama Jomama. Obi, the kind of economy Jomama ever saw as president in 2010. Now, between 2012, now inflation now about 8.8. 2013, your mama they call 13.5. 2014, or the inflation call 17. 2015, or the call 17.7. 2016, or the call 15.4. Whatever the case is, the inflation that John Mahama inherited in 2012 was between 8% to 9%. Ever since he became president, for each of the years that John Mahama was president, inflation got worse. Not a single time in Mahama's presidency, not even 1 year in Mahama's presidency, to me, the inflation ever under control. In fact, inflation climbed from single digits to 13.5 to 17 to 17.7 to 15.4. Bam, in the IMF. Not even a single moment in his life as a president can he put his chest out and say, Ghana for me bedi or man penino. I didn't miss someone and I'm the mammy and me ye be paying. Me to be a bibi papa ba pay. And based on that, into the motion so day into Obama. Obi. So the GDP normally you can pesa ye de oil de anokra be dey. E be kan hwe 2012 Ghana's GDP with oil was about 8.42%. Without oil was about 7.83%. 2012. And this is the economy. John Mahama ebeji or be president. Nti me fa say 8.42, 7.83. 2013, or the cost 7.24 with oil, or the cost 6.69 without oil. Obi, 2 years down the line, just 2 years down the line of John Mahama becoming president. Now we're moving Ghana's GDP now. It was growing at 8.42%, or they call 2.86, 2.49 in 2014, 2.86 with oil, 2.49 without oil. In 2014, just 2 years. Just 2 years. 2015, it's also take off him, equal 2.12, 2.13. Obi, throughout the month's period in office as president, the economy went into turbulence. This is a matter of fact, too. Not a single indicator under John Mahama as president did we see any single improvement in our economy. It was as a result of shambolic management of the economy in a sikakra on the better fuel, diesel, a good generator, a power electricity, American Union. Or most of it. So let me tell you, when we were in opposition, we were constantly on record telling you, say, the crisis that we found ourselves in Ghana had nothing to do with capacity, any generation. It has never been. Because all they did was that Omokwaman said just so eco-free generators. Are you now aware? Are you now aware? Power purchasing agreement, and you're free, eco-free. It was easy. They went out there during the crisis, told people, say, Munim, Yapekania, Mumesiba, Yebetua, and Kakrakra. Yapekania, Mumesiba, Yebetua. Obi, almost see generators, power plants, across the country. And it was easy because they were not paying for it. To the extent they do, baby, no obi. Now capacity no crowd, power plants no crowd, no power generator no crowd, broso. It's almost to be see. I feel almost to be see. I saw those who can't to BMW. What to can you know? Second, I can't to me run up a day and to me face swung go day and found quabonting. You need to buy fuel into the BMW now. Do see kakwe day. Akoton when put there because what say we economy na say nti when yes kekra nkota de no uko free you go so yetu anka you go so tu anka entu anwie you uko free ni na aba you go so tu anka entu anwie wo de ba wie no fuel la wo de be go power nim no bi unni sika wo de be to. And that is the reason why we slept in darkness for 2 years. The only reason why we slept in darkness in this country was that this incompetent NDC, they are blabbing, talking plenty. When they had power, they couldn't do anything. No? When they had the chance, all they did was that in our crisis moment, omuko free power ni begu omuko free buy and obi. Aka, I'm friend say, fuel on the tree. Fuel, fan, war, we be good generators, no more power electricity, obi. Just because of fuel, that is why we slept in that.
But by the time, without any addition of generation capacity, anchor resolution of the problem. It was money was the problem, and then you
see, we are not foolish.
Yes,
we are not foolish.
Yeah.
If you go and borrow somebody's vehicle to your house, and it doesn't mean that when you're home, obika ebe si ufia, and don't just say when you're home. And so obi, but no we are fine pamwa. And to open BMW na make one some. Oba no, watch wo. Ope kwa be first obe tukwa free koko memory akọ Madina. Ina oba me ho. Ina mede me BMW no FM wo. Ina si wo fie. Afa wo soro no pa e kwan be na BMW no be first do akọ Madina wo se ma solve problem no nya sabe no wo. Obi asema wo kan pay we akola akora ka che no be die di. Ese se wo tukwa akọ Madina. Ese wo nya car na wo de kọ Madina. First of all, who needs car de beto car no. Second, who needs car so de beto fuo. Ne mom me ya wunu ya me ya wadanfo. Into ba me ho. Se me fa me car ne mfemo. E na me de car ne femo. Car ne be si fie no. Afa o so no pa. Sika de beto diesel egubu akoma de na wunya. O se ma solve problem no. Which kind of childish a friend is saying explanation is this? O se ma solve problem no. Eti car ne be si wona afia no pe bia so ya. Na o hwe car nanim. Enso wa ketre fie on to me koma de na no. Wei ye ka chep akwala ban. That is the image you are painting for the people of Ghana. We yakacha akwala bayi. Eti for 2 good years. And I had the capacity buyer, and he had the generators buyer, and he had the generators buyer. Obi for 2 good years. For 2 good years, you couldn't give us power. Only for you to leave power. Now there is electricity. Said we solved it. We solved it. You only managed to solve the electricity crisis when you left power. Fitimia NDC fi aban mu ekoye when we say energy crisis wa my way. So how come the entire period we had a crisis and they were in power, we never had that kind of energy crisis doom so? What kind of childish explanation is this? Obi, asema make about doom so many bresamo. These guys they take us for granted. The NDC take the whole country for granted.
Tone down kakra.
Obi,
childish
Obi, because nkofo wuye. In fact, some factories were converted into churches. Your friend said theater, so I was surgery room near Doom Kanea, near the torchlight. Obi, didn't you see it? People's education got truncated because they couldn't have energy to study. This is the kind of ayakayaka you have the mouth to still be talking. Let's
move on to other.
The fact of the matter is that John Mahama as president was symbolic. He was incompetent, and the figures are here. His entire 4 years in office, he took this country down the drain. It was a complete mess.